erasing the static where your voice used to be, counting the minutes since you stopped seeing me. The coffee is cold and the hallway is wide, and there's nowhere for this hollow feeling to hide. I'm walking backwards through every hello, learning the rhythm of letting you go. The math of us is starting to shift, a sudden divide, a permanent drift. I'm looking for balance in a room full of ghosts, missing the version of you I loved most. It's the inverse of a heartbeat, a silence that rings, the weight of the words that a memory brings. Where there used to be us, there's a vacuum of me, the negative space where your heart used to be. I'm pulsing in shadows, I'm breathing in blue. I'm just the echo of losing you. I'm looking for balance in a room full of ghosts, missing the version of you I loved most. The pictures are still in their frames on the wall, but the gravity changed. Now I'm starting to fall. You were the rhythm, the steady, the beat. Now I'm just a melody that's incomplete. A mirror image of a life we once planned, slipping like water right through my hand. If love is a cost, then this is the cost. Calculating every second we lost, a fight in the dark, a skip in the light. I'm out of your chest and you're out of mine. 1 minus 1 shouldn't feel this much like 0. I'm standing in the kitchen where the sunlight used to spill, but the air is gone heavy and the shadows have gone still. I'm wearing your old sweater, but the wool has lost its heat. Just a ghost of a feeling, a rhythm off the beat. The thermostat is climbing, but the window started to glaze. I'm losing the map through this shivering haze. We used to be the fire, the flicker and the spark. Now I'm just a pilot light dying in the dark. The mercury is falling and I'm losing my grip. The tea is getting bitter, steam is turning thin. I can't find the place where your heart ends and mine should begin. There's a thin sheet of glass between me and the world, like a flag in the winter. I'm frozen and furled. I remember the summer, the sweat and the skin. Now I'm just wondering how the winter got in. They say that cold is just the absence of light, but it feels like a weight in the middle of the night. It's a hollow, it's a numbing, it's a sharpening ache, a physical brittle that's starting to break. I'm a statue of salt in a kingdom of snow. I'm turning the dial, but the signal is thin. Looking for the frequency where we both begin. I remember your laugh like a clear, steady note. Now it's a fragment, a lump in my throat. I'm reaching through shadows, I'm chasing the sound of a love that was solid. Now it's gone underground. There's a hum in the hallway, a buzz in the air. I'm calling your name, but there's nobody there. The connection is fraying, the wires are crossed in the white noise of everything we've ever lost. It's the static between us, a gray rushing sea, the you and the I that forgot how to be we. I'm lost in the crackle, the hiss and the blur, searching for the person that you actually were. A screen with no picture, a storm in the room. The silence of us is a deafening boom. If I scream loud enough, will the signal break through? Or am I just feedback, still screaming for you? It's a glitch in the system, a break in the flow. The hardest part of the radio is letting it go. I'm looking at the blueprint of the life we were building, but the ink is turning pale and the edges are peeling. I used to see a kitchen, a porch and a suite. Now it's just a pattern, a hollowed out thing. I'm tracing the borders where your side meets mine, but I'm losing the vision, I'm losing the line. Every I love you is a coordinate lost in a landscape of math and a winter of frost. The structure is shaking, the pillars are thin. I don't know where the exit is supposed to begin. I'm fading into gridlines, becoming a ghost in the architecture of what I love most. Just a point on a graph, a sketch in the gray, watching the color just bleed all away. No more forever, just X and just Y, a blueprint of us that's starting to die. The measurements are off and the angles are wrong. I've been living in a house where I don't belong. You're a smudge on the paper, a blur in the hall, while I'm becoming the shadow that lives on the wall. I'm shrinking down small to fit in the squares, climbing the ghost of our unfinished stairs. Break it down to the basics, the math of the eight. How many more inches until I just break? Delete the foundation, erase every room. The silence is building a digital tomb. I'm sitting on the floor of the life we designed, tracing the blueprints we left far behind. The joists are all heavy, the cedar is cold, and the story of us is starting to mold. I'm looking at windows that look out on gray, watching the structural integrity sway. A house isn't home when the breathing has stopped, when the keys on the counter are finally dropped. I'm measuring distances, wall after wall, waiting for the ceiling to finally fall. It's the architecture of a saw, a hollowed out frame, built from the bricks of a whispered out name. The foundation is shaking, the drywall is thin. This is the wreckage where the winter got in. I'm a tenant to swallow, a ghost in the hall, in a house made of heartaches that's starting to fall. steady red glow, following a map that I already know. We're driving the same speed, we're on the same street, but there's a distance between us that's never discreet. I can see your profile through the glass of the door, but I'm further away than I've been here before. The road is a ribbon, the sky is a wave. We're locked in a logic, a geometric fade, side by side in the dark, in the pouring rain. Two separate tracks for the very same train. It's the tragedy of parallel lines, they never collide, no matter how long or how fast we both ride. An infinite distance in a 2-inch space. I'm memorizing the shadows that live on your face. We're chasing the horizon, but the math is too clear. You're right beside me, but you'll never be near. The radio's playing a song we once knew, but it sounds different now, like a distorted view. I reach for the console, you reach for the wheel, touching the chrome but forgetting the feel. We're perfectly balanced, we're perfectly straight, heading for nothing at a terrifying rate. If the world was a curve, if the earth was a bend, maybe these ironclad rules would just end. But the ink is too permanent, the ruler's too cold, and we're just the stories that never get told. 1 plus 1, staying 1 and 1. I'm holding the memory up to the light, trying to find where the colors went bright. But the glass is all jagged, the edges are sheared, and the warmth of the spectrum has just disappeared. I'm looking for us in the refraction of me, but there's nothing but white space as far as I see. You were the sun, and I was the glass, waiting for beauty and brilliance to pass. But the angle has shifted, the beam is gone cold, and I'm just an object that's starting to fall. shadows, I'm bending the gray, watching the rainbow just flicker away. I'm clear and I'm empty, I'm perfectly still, a vacant cathedral that you used to fill. The walls of this heart are as thin as a breath, a crystalline silence, a beautiful death. I can see through the ribs to the world outside, but there's nowhere for a ghost of a feeling to hide. I'm a vessel for nothing, a jar with no lid, losing the secret of where we were hid. Break me in pieces, let the light scatter wide. Maybe I'll find where the ghosts go to hide. If I'm just a shell, then why does it ache? How can something so hollow be so hard to break? The color is gone, but the sharpness remains. I'm holding the memory up to the light, trying to find where the colors went bright. But the glass is all jagged, the edges are sheared, and the warmth of the spectrum has just disappeared. I'm looking for us in the refraction of me, but there's nothing but white space as far as I see. You were the sun, and I was the glass, waiting for beauty and brilliance to pass. But the angle has shifted, the beam has gone cold, and I'm just an object that's starting to fold. It's a hollow prism, a chamber of bone, where the light of your love used to feel like a home. Now I'm catching the shadows, I'm bending the gray, watching the rainbow just flicker away. I'm clear and I'm empty, I'm perfectly still, a vacant cathedral that you used to fill. The walls of this heart are as thin as a breath, a crystalline silence, a beautiful death. I can see through the ribs to the world outside, but there's nowhere for a ghost of a feeling to hide. I'm a vessel for nothing, a jar with no lid, the sharpness remains. I'm leaning in close to the curve of your ghost, to the version of us that I still miss the most. But the closer I get, the further I stray, like a shooting star falling a million miles away. I'm a line in the dark, I'm a streak in the sky, just a moment of contact before the goodbye. The geometry's cruel and the logic is cold. A story of almost that's starting to fold. I'm reaching for something I can't quite retain, a single point shared in a lifetime of rain. It's a tangent to your memory, a touch and a go, the ghost of a feeling I'm forced to let go. I graze the horizon of where you begin, but I'm pushed back to where the silence starts in just one tiny spark on a circle of no, a tangent to your memory, and I have to go. The math of your laughter is fading away in the calculus of a long, lonely day. I was heading toward you, I thought we would meet, but the trajectory's shifted, the move's incomplete. I'm a glancing blow, I'm a brush of the hand, slipping like hourglass grains through the sand. If I could just bend, if I could just break, to follow the path that your heartbeat would take. But I'm straight and I'm stubborn, I'm locked in my flight. 1 second of warmth, then a lifetime of night. I'm standing in the doorway where the laughter used to live, but the house has taken back everything it had to give. I hear the ghost of your keys hitting the wooden small table. I'd reach out to grab you if only I were able, but the air is just thin and the dust starts to dance in the light of a memory, in a ghost of a chance. I say your name just to hear how it feels, but the silence is heavy and the loneliness peels the paint from the walls and the warmth from the floor. I'm a stranger now, knocking on my own front door. It's just echoes in an empty hall. are still hanging in a row, but yours has a stillness that I've come to know. I walk through the kitchen, I walk through the light, but I'm losing the battle with the middle of the night. Every floorboard that creaks is a trick of the mind, looking for the pieces that you left behind. If I shout, I still love you at the top of my lungs. Will it bounce off the ceiling? Will it trip on our tongues? Or will it just wander, looking for a home in a house made of timber and sorrow and bone? The louder I cry, the quieter it stays. I'm staring at the mirror, but the silver is cracked, trying to get the pieces of us to stay intact. You're half of the frame is a jagged edge sky, while mine is a desert that's starting to dry. We were a pattern, a perfect design, but the glass didn't hold to the center cut line. I'm holding the shards till my fingers turn red, trying to rebuild the things that we said, but a puzzle with edges that no longer fit. It's just a pile of sorrow, and I'm lost in it. It's fragmented symmetry, a beauty gone wrong, the broken down bridge of a once perfect song. I'm looking for balance in a lopsided room where the flowers of maybe have forgotten to bloom. One side is missing, the other is blurred. The loudest goodbye that I've ever heard. The left side of the bed is a mountain of cold. The right side is a story that's already told. I try to match the ripple of your ghost in the hall, but the timing is off, and I'm starting to stall. A butterfly The iron is brittle, the gold turned to rust. If I find the right piece, will the picture return? Or am I just watching the blueprint burn? Nothing is equal. Nothing is fair. I'm staring at the ledger on the kitchen wood, trying to make the numbers do what they should. I've subtracted your shoes and the keys by the door, but the house still weighs more than it did before. I'm dividing the days by the silence you left in a laboratory of the lonely and bereft. I'm carrying the one, but the one is just me, a decimal point in a dark, empty sea. The variables changed when you walked out the gate, and now I'm just solving for too little, too late. It's the cold calculus of goodbye, a heart in a cage, a red inked reminder on a teal spotted page. There's no formula for the way that it burns, or the way that a world just stops when it turns. Just logic and loss in a long frozen line, in the math of your heart leaving mine. The probability of us was a beautiful lie, a graph that went up till it hit the black sky. Now I'm charting the slope of a downward descent, counting the interest on the time that we spent. The geometry's broken, the angles are sharp, like a snapped off string on a shivering harp. Add up the I love yous, then take them away. What's the remainder at the end of the day? Is it zero, or something much less? A negative space in a wedding white dress. The sum of our parts is a ghost. Looking up at the ceiling, where the blue used to be, but the stars have all fallen, I see 1,000 me's in this sudden exchange. In one piece we're dancing, in another we're cold. In the sharpest of all, I'm just watching you fold. Your coat's in the hallway, covered in dust, like a relic of forever that turned into rust. Don't try to sweep it, don't try to clear the room. The debris is the only thing left of the bloom. If the sky just shattered for me to see clear, then the view from the bottom is exactly what I fear. It's just empty space and a lot of broken lace. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed we both made, watching the dust motes in a slow motion parade. The window is open, the curtains are wide, but there's nowhere for this heavy feeling to hide. I'm pulling in air like I'm dragging a stone, learning the texture of breathing alone. They say it's invisible, they say it's just ghost, but it's pressing the hardest on what I love most. My ribs are a cage that is starting to bend under the pressure of a love at its end. It's the weight of the oxygen, the burden of blue, the crushing reality of life without you. I'm gasping for space in a room full of air, sinking under the wish you were there. It's 1,000 tons heavy, it's a sea on my chest. The weight of the oxygen is putting my heart to the test. The molecules used to be easy and light when you were the anchor in the middle of night. Now every inhale is a mountain to climb, a physical measure of losing my time. The nitrogen's thick and the carbon is cold, like a story of us that's too heavy to hold. Open the door, let the atmosphere out. I'm drowning in silence, I'm screaming in doubt. If I stop reaching, will the pressure subside? Or is the gravity coming from deep down inside? One more breath, and it feels like a bruise. I'm punching the numbers into a screen, trying to find where the almost has been. I've got the degrees and the minutes of pain in a town that's been drowned by a permanent rain. I'm standing right here on the corner of us, in the rust of a memory in the back of a bus. The needle is spinning, it can't find the north since you took the compass and headed back forth. I'm a blip on the radar, but starting to fade in the middle of every mistake that we made. It's the coordinates of loneliness, a map with no name, a destination where the grief is the same. 34 north and a heart full of west. I'm putting the ghost of your shadow to rest. Just a dot on the paper, a pin in the floor, marking the spot where you don't live anymore. The latitude's heavy, the longitude's light. There's no secret valley for a loser to hide. I tracked our trajectory, the arc of the fall. Now I'm just a silhouette against a brick wall. I'm exactly 6 inches from where we once lay, but 1,000 light years from the words you would say. Recalculating, but the signal is dead, lost in the terrain of the things that you said. If I follow the trail, will it lead to your door, or just to the wreckage on a desolate shore? The destination is empty, the ETA's never. compass is spinning, the needle is loose. I'm tangled in anchors and a tightening noose of the plans that we whispered, the maps that we drew before the horizon was emptied of you. I'm staring at water that's blacker than ink, with no star to guide me and no time to think. There are no landmarks in a desert of souls, no signpost to tell me whose heart was at fault. I'm over the edge of the world that I knew, sailing through shadows and looking for you. It's uncharted grief, it's a sea with no floor. I'm miles away from the ghost of your shore. No latitude helps when the center won't hold, and the air in the rigging is bitter and cold. I'm a captain of nothing, a wreck on the reef, lost in the rhythm of uncharted grief. The silence is vast, it's a physical weight, a heavy set fog at a terrifying rate. I try to remember the smell of the land, but it's slipping away like the grains of the sand. I'm charting the current of why and because, missing the person that I thought I was. Is there a bottom? Is there a beach? Or is moving on just forever out of reach? The map is a blank and the ink is all dry, just a pale empty gray where we used to be sky. One more wave and I'm under. One chair at the table, one cup for the tea. The square root of us is just a hollowed out me. I've cleared out the closet, I've scrubbed every floor, but your absence is louder than you were before. White walls and thin shadows, a pale narrow light. The geometry is simple in the middle of night. I'm cutting the extras, I'm stripping the bone, finding the essence of being alone. No more forever, no more I agree. Just the stark, quiet truth of a locked up degree. It's men's heartaches, the small quiet pain, the tap of a single drop of the rain. more when the more is a ghost. The silence is what I'm beginning to host. The bed is a desert of ironed out sheets. The rhythm is steady, but it never repeats. I've deleted the photos, I've muted the phone. I'm a monument carved out of clinical stone. A single black line on a canvas of gray, watching the meaning just wither away. Break it down to the atoms, the dust and the spark. How many less pieces until it goes dark? If I take away memory, what's left of the ache? Is there anything left in the center to break? The answer is nothing, and nothing is cold. I'm watching the light on the router turn red, counting the words that we never quite said. I'm casting a light through the dark, cold wire, but the sparks have all gone from the satellite fire. I'm typed out in boxes, I'm waiting for C, but there's 1,000-mile desert inside of this screen. I'm pinging the silence, I'm calling your ghost, reaching for the version of you I love most. But the bars are all gone, the battery's low, and I'm losing the signal of where we should go. It's a distant signal, and no one is home. Just a frequency wandering out on its own. I'm broadcasting hell to a heart that's gone dark, searching the air for a flicker or spark. Static is winning, the line is a ghost, a distant signal that I'm losing the most. Map on my phone says you're blocks away, but the digital distance is turning to gray. I can see your activity, a green little dot, but the person I knew is the one you are not. I'm a message in a bottle, in a binary sea, hoping you're still somewhere looking for me. Is it a glitch, choice that you made to let the connection just flicker and fade. I'm screaming in drafts where the feelings are kept in the glow of the screen where I haven't yet slept. Connection failed. Try again later. Walking the fence line we built in the spring, touching the wire and the rust that it brings. I used to look over and see only you, but the grass has gone yellow, the sky has gone blue. I'm measuring footsteps, I'm pacing the floor of a life that doesn't have us anymore. The boundary is jagged, the borders are deep, between the promises we couldn't quite keep. I'm circling the almost, I'm haunting the falling right over the edge of the cliff. It's the perimeter of regret, a circle of stone where I'm learning the layout of being alone. I'm trapped in the radius of things I didn't say, watching the center just wither away. I can't get back in, and I can't quite break out. I'm just the perimeter of shadow and doubt. Tangled, the gate is off hinge, and the silence has started to burn and to singe. I remember the laughter, the heat of the sun, before we decided that we were all done. Now I'm just a sentry, a ghost on the wall, waiting for the rest of the structure to fall. Is it a cage or a shield from the rain? This physical map of a permanent pain. If I walk far enough, will I reach the start? Or am I just orbiting a broken down heart? One more lap and the lights go out. I'm staring at the ledger of the life we once shared, dividing the lonely by how much I cared. I've subtracted your coffee cup, your keys and your code, but I'm drowning in numbers that won't let me float. The balance is shifting, the columns are thin. I don't know where the nothing is supposed to begin. I'm solving for X, but the answer is gone in the cold gray light of a mathematical dawn. The variables changed when you walked out the door, and I'm left with a logic that doesn't work anymore. It's the cold hard math of a heart in the dark, calculating the void, chasing a spark, subtracting the always, adding the no, watching the sum of forever go. It's a negative number, a hollowed out space in the calculus of losing your face. Probability of us was a beautiful curve, but I lost the trajectory and I lost my nerve. Now the graph is a flat line, a long steady zero in a story that's missing its heart and its hero. I'm measuring the distance from your side to mine, but the units are heartbreaks and they don't stay in line. Multiply the silence by the nights I've stayed up, count every tear in an overfilled cup. The total is empty, the remainder is ache. How much more of the formula is left here?